Hello, my name is Aisha Wallace Raleigh, and you are here with us on BS Talks, Barbers and Stylists Talks. We are broadcasting out of Relaxation's Grooming Bar. I'm sitting here with my co-host Delia Wallace, and we got a great show for you today. It's about entrepreneurship, and we some of our guests that we have today with us is Mr. Ron Kelly and Eric Cheeks. They are the owners of Blensorio. Did I say that right, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We also have Mr. Holiday with us. He is the owner of Power 104.4. And we got a great musical guest for you today, Vontae Percaciante. I hope I said that properly.
That sounds good.
So definitely tune in. Come on, we're going to have a great show. And let's get started.
All right, we're back with BS Talks. We're here with Ron Kelly and Eric Cheek from Blensorio Style and Bar. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Great.
Good. So, can you tell me a little bit about Blensorio Style and Bar? How did it get started, and what all services do you offer there?
Well, Blensoria Styling Bar started with a vision about 2 years ago. I had a vision to build a team of at least 4 barbers who are also licensed instructors because it's part of the bigger vision. And we just waited for the best opportunity to come along, and it did, and we pounced on it. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to start with Mr. Ron Kelly because I've been knowing Ron for a couple of years now.
2 years.
And I met Ron when I purchased the old tower here and used to be a barber, a barber and a manager at Tower here. And it's now called Relaxation's Grooming Bar, of course, and which I am the owner of. And so I was really, when I had a chance to go over your bio, I learned some things I didn't know about you. And for me, I went to school and got a trade. It's amazing because a lot of people don't realize that some of the barbers actually went to a 4-year college and got a degree. And you actually got a degree, a bachelor in science for communications. And you decided to put that down and go to barber school. Tell me why.
Yes. Well, I did attend Norfolk State, but being that I was out of state, when I moved to the city of Charlotte, I moved in 1996. With radio and television, that's a position where a lot of people will stay in for a number of years.
Right.
So it's kind of tough getting somebody to come out of that on-air position, or getting up in front of that TV camera, anchor or something like that, and me stepping in as a new guy. That's something that you have to work your way to the top for. So when I moved to Charlotte, all they had in my field for broadcasting was broadcast sales.
Okay.
And of course, that's something that I really didn't want to do with sales. At the radio station, you go from business to business, trying to solicit them to advertise on a radio station. And television, it would have been some gear work, doing camera out in the field. And so I didn't want to do any of that stuff. So I went into the business for what Charlotte was known for, which was banking.
Okay.
And so I started working in 1998 with First Union Bank, and worked with them up into the merger that they had with Wachovia.
Right.
Okay, so it was the merger time, that first merger with businesses, that put me in a bad position where I was about to lose my job. And so when two companies merge together, there's a great number of employees that aren't needed.
Right.
The two teams
Right.
that's coming together, you don't need you got 2 guards, you got 2 centers, you know, you don't need them on the team. So
Exactly.
they were doing a big layoff,
Mhm.
and that was jeopardizing my livelihood.
Right.
You know, I
Right.
had family, um, you know, wife, kids, wasn't married, but, you know, had
Mhm.
kids and stuff like that. So I went to barber school as a backup, a plan B.
Mhm.
If anything ever happened like this with me, I would have something to fall back on, a trade that nobody could take away from me.
Right.
Couldn't be fired from it, you know what I'm saying? So I chose barbering as a field.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and I chose, you know, how I came into to wanting to go to barber school was because, again, I had kids. I had boys,
Mhm.
3 boys.
Mhm.
And getting, you know, their haircuts and my haircuts was starting to be a little bit pricey.
Mhm.
So I was going into a regular barber shop, and with the prices and everything being that the way they were, I looked for a cheaper route out.
Right.
Started going to the barber school,
Mhm.
and that's when I got interested in going to barber school myself.
Okay. It's so funny listening to your story. I was in the banking field. I swear to God, I worked in bookkeeping for First Citizens Bank for 7 years, and the job was phasing out. And literally, I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to school, and I wind up going to barber school. Just so hearing your story, I'm just like, wow, that's exactly what I wind up doing and everything. But enough of me. So
Well, I want to know, had you ever cut hair before? Or you
I
just,
had never cut hair before. It was
wow.
when I went to barber school. I went to barber school in Columbia, South Carolina,
Yeah.
at Talks College of Barber. And I remember when I first walked in there, the owner of the school. Well, it's so funny. I actually went to a cosmetology school first.
Mhm.
And when I went into the cosmetology school, while I was waiting to be interviewed to talk to the head person, 2 girls came in there and they were arguing. And she was like, don't you see me in here trying to, talk to this potential student? She said, excuse me, let me go deal with them. Well, I'm just coming out of the banking industry. I've worked with a bunch of women, and they were catty. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this. Well, the barbering school was right up the street. So I went to the barbering school, and when I went in, the instructor was sitting, well, the owner, he was sitting in, it seemed like the middle of all these papers. And he was, when I told him I was interested in coming to school, he said to me, have you ever cut before? I said, no. He said, okay. He said, have you ever been in a barber shop before? I said, I once or twice with a boyfriend or something. He said, so, what did you do before you walked in here? I said, well, I used to work in the bank. I said, I worked in bookkeeping for 7 years. And he said, okay. So he said, do you know how to type? And I was like, yes. He said, I tell you what. He said, if you help keep my office and my records and stuff like that, I'll teach you how to cut. And I literally went to school for free.
Oh,
And that's how I became a barber.
Amazing.
that's what's up.
That's awesome.
That's exactly how I became a barber.
Oh, man.
Walked in there, had never, ever.
Hmm.
And I have 2 daughters. I don't even have no sons.
Right.
And then here I am,
That's a cool story.
22 years later.
Right.
So I'm 22 years in the game.
So what got you started into barbering?
True story. 11 years old, man. My mom cutting my hair, and she give me that low peel all over with the wall all the way open, no guard, against the grain. Little widow's peak. I already thought I was a funny looking little boy anyway. And I said, if it's gonna look like this, I was 11. I said, if it's gonna look like this, I might as well do this myself. And I gave myself my first haircut, and we lived in the projects or apartment, and once my homeboy saw mine, came through me, through him, you know how.
Yeah.
So that's how I got started for me. I was 11 years old.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So you started cutting around the neighborhood?
Around the neighborhood.
Yeah. Nice.
Bathroom, kitchen, porch, yeah. That's how it all started.
Yeah.
One clipper. I don't know if you remember this, but the wall. It was you had to take the screws and loosen them up to push the blade up, and you edge up with those same clippers. But you won't cut. You weren't cutting your own.
I'll hear it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So when did you actually go to school? When did you
At night.
decide to go to school?
I decided to go to school, like most young boys coming out of the, you know where we come from, like out of the hood. You know, you life going a downward spiral. You start just thinking about like, what am I gonna do? So my option was to drive trucks or cut hair, because cutting hair was something I was naturally good at.
Right.
So I decided to go to school in 1997, and I graduated in 1998, June of 1998.
Okay. Okay.
I went to Sherrills University of Barber and Cosmetology in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay.
Shout
Okay.
out in the short, yeah. My barber mother.
Nice.
And so, for me as a barber, I tell people, I said, I've always enjoyed the freedom.
Yeah.
When my girls was little, I tell everybody they shop babies all day.
Mhm.
I used to bring people. I've had customers for over 20 years who know when they used to come in the shop, I have a little table set up. That I get them from school. They sit there and do their homework or whatever. My other baby, she used to go sleep at the little shampoo chair bowl. She used to love to sleep in that chair when she wasn't doing her homework. But I was always able to be there for them. Like if they had field trips, PTOs, PTAs, whatever, I was always available for them and stuff. But, and then I was able to stay in the shop longer later and things like that. I love the relationships and stuff that I was able to build up with customers. I tell people I've been to every baby shower, wedding, graduation, whatever. And to this day, I mean, my customers are like family to me. And I mean, I love them up and they love me up. And so for you, what do you get out of being a barber?
What do I get out of being a barber? I just like being in the know of everything. Barbering to me is sort of like being celebrity status. You know what I mean? I get to know everybody. Everybody knows me. Out meeting people. Sometimes I'm out, people notice me, and I can't recall like who they are sometimes. You know, so I've gotten to a status where more people know me than I know them. And that was something that I actually wanted. You know, I went into a field of mass communication in order to be on the radio and in the television. I've always dreamed of being a celebrity or just having, some type of talent, either on radio or behind the scenes television. And so barbering for me gave me a chance to meet with everybody, from all walks of life. Everybody comes into the barbershop to get their hair cut. And they become very familiar with the barbers in the shop. Everybody comes in the shop, they're dapping all the barbers up. So just to be amongst that crowd of positive men too.
Camaraderie.
That camaraderie. Of positive men also. Cornerstone of the community.
Right.
That was for me. You know what I mean? That's something that I really enjoy doing. So it's not work for me. It's more of a it's passion, it's a hangout.
Yeah.
It's a man cave. So that's why that's what I get out of barbering. Yeah. And I love love making people look their best.
Yes.
Look good.
For sure. Now, Eric, you just recently won an award at the Black Beauty Awards for Barber of the Year.
I did. It was a while back. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, that award was it was a while back. But I compete. I love to compete, and that's kind of how I got my name in the industry.
Yeah.
And so that award I got because at the time I was hot. You know what I'm saying? One of my people say you should only have one specialty. I struggle with whether or not that's true or not, but one of my specialties is design.
Okay.
And I don't know if you guys ever seen anybody with a face cut in their head or anything like that. If you ever seen that? If you ever seen that?
So you can do
It
that.
was birthed here. Yeah, I was that guy.
Okay.
Before Instagram, Facebook, any of that. I think MySpace was just coming about.
He was doing that.
I did it, had never seen it done before, went to a hair show. One of the guys that owned a magazine, he seen it, put me on the cover, gave me a 4-page spread. And after that, that's when it started taking off.
Yeah.
Other barbers started trying it. So that's part of why I got the awards I have. I'm part of the history and the evolution of barbering. And that means a lot to me.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask you, what does that mean? Because like you said, you were one of the first to do it before Instagram. So now
Oh, yeah.
see a lot of barbers doing that. How does that feel for you?
It's great. It's great. It's a couple of elements in that, like the same way Black history isn't taught, so Black people and other people of other races suffer for not knowing, and they'll say silly things. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know. And I've noticed, being in the industry now for 20 plus years, professionally, I see it. I see that same thing taking place. Like, you know, I walk in rooms and people, you know, they don't even know who I am sometimes. And that's cool. That's cool. But other people get the credit for being the original of something that other people started. And we've seen it. We've seen that before, right?
Yes.
And that's cool. But I think the fact that if I start something or you start something and somebody coming behind us can pick it up and add to it, man, that feels dope. And honestly, they call me the king of faces. I get why they call me that, but the guys that are doing it now are so dope.
Yeah.
And to know that I'm part of that, I sit back and watch them and be like, man, that is so cool, man. He's killing it.
But guess what?
You're the pioneer.
Right.
Yeah.
But guess what? When you did it, you did it with clippers.
Yeah.
What they're doing now is they got those razor pins.
Oh yeah.
And they're cheating. So they're doing it, it's like they're drawing now. It's like they're using a regular pen to draw the design. Whereas back in the day, when you did it,
And still to this day.
you did it with clippers. And that's the difference. When when I razor shave, it was so funny. Of course, we have hot towel warmers.
Yeah.
But when I was coming up in barber school, we went straight to the sink with the hot water. You rolled your towel. You ran the water in. You ran it. I still do it like that to this day because I'm so old school. And
I do too.
This one guy saw me doing it. He was like, "Why don't you just use? We got a hot towel warmer. Why don't you just use a hot towel warmer?" I said, "This is easy. I've been doing it like this forever." And so it's so funny because now, like you said, you're right. You go on Instagram and all this stuff. You see all these mad designs, and I'm like, how are they doing that with just clippers? But then I started seeing the razor pen, and I was like, oh, they're cheating. Oh, that's not they cheating. So, I love the fact that all of you guys, you said everybody in your shop, you guys are all instructors.
Yes.
So, do you all ever think, because I see different ones, certain ones opening up schools now. Do you all feel like collectively you guys are going to eventually open a school?
Oh, that's part of the big picture. Like if it wasn't for the school, the shop we in now we wouldn't have pounced on that.
Right.
You know, me personally, 20 years in, I owned the shop for 11 years. I'm not interested in a barber shop.
Right.
As a barber and as a shop owner, but with the school, I like that combo. So that's why I'm interested in it. And teaching, like, you've been in it for years, you've seen it. To see somebody go in barber school as an instructor that never cut hair before, and you look at them 2 or 3 years down the road and they can provide for their family, ain't no feeling like that. There ain't no feeling like that.
Absolutely.
And I tell people all the time, being a barber, as I love the freedom, but we actually make really good money. You know, it's sad because we actually make more money than the average teacher. And if we, do our money right or however, we barbers and stylists, they really make decent money. We really make decent money and stuff.
Can I share something with that though?
Yes.
You said something earlier that with the money, I wish I would have knew better back then. You had your babies with you at the shop, and I didn't do that. And that I think is probably the most valuable component of barbering, the freedom. I didn't do that when they were small. Now I do. I make sure I spend time with them because this job affords me the ability to spend time with my babies. Like I wish I would have when they were young, but when I heard you speaking earlier, I was like, man, more guys should do that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's another topic, but that's something that I'm passionate about when it comes to being a barber and having kids. It's something to be discussed. And
it's so funny because, well, of course, at the time, my husband, he worked. So when I did get them from school, they didn't have nowhere. I mean, I could take them to a babysitter, but wow, when they could, look, you teach them, you come in, you sit still, da-da-da-da, you do your work, whatever. So that's how they got familiar with it. But even with Delia, Delia now, she went to a four-year college. She graduated from North Carolina Central University. And now she went back to school and became an esthetician. So she's an esthetician, and she's also a makeup artist. And so she, just from being in the shop, she's learned, those skills and things like that. And it's I don't know how to say it. I think we're finally getting, a lot more respect in the barber and styling world.
Absolutely.
Because at one time, people kind of,
When
act
you
like
say we, you speaking of women or barbers in general?
barbers in general.
Okay.
Because, at one time, I think people kind of thought we was like a joke.
They didn't respect our profession.
They didn't respect our profession.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't really have it. We got a play job.
Yeah.
And no, this is a real job. I get up every morning and come to the shop and work, get behind that chair, and I got my knees is suffering for it now. But at the end of the day, I work. So, if you go to school and you wind up behind that desk and all you doing is signing your name to papers or checks, how is your job so much harder than mine?
So, if I may, there's a book called The Knights of the Razor. I'm actually reading it now. It's a dope book. If you're a barber or stylist, just anybody, you should read that book, The Knights of the Razor. And it alludes to that point, like how we're starting to get respect. When black barbers who were slaves were cutting their white owners or masters, that was a prestigious place to be at as a black person, because the opposite was being in the field or whatnot. So it was a smooth position to be in, but it was looked at as, from other white men as a low position to be a barber. So you still, that stigma has kind of carried over the years, and now we're starting to gain traction as barbers.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They kind of came, not to throw everything back to slavery, but unfortunately, a lot of stuff traces right back, so and that's some of the history. Knights of the Razor.
I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna check that out and read it too.
That's Knight, K-N-I-G-H-T.
Knights of the Razor. I'm gonna have to look into that
Yeah.
and everything, because of course, too, the history. The barbers were your first doctors for a lot of men and everything,
Yeah.
because a lot of men didn't want to go to regular doctors, especially black men and stuff. So a lot of the barbers started off as doctors.
A lot of people don't know that. We pull teeth. But and ironically today, we don't go to that extent, but we are counselors are like nobody's business. You know what I'm saying? So we dropped doing the bloodletting and the pulling of teeth, and we went into the psychology. We're doing counseling now.
Exactly.
Therapy. Which I think is really dope. That's one of my favorite parts.
That's very important.
So, I know my answer. I'll let you all answer first. Do you ever see yourself retiring?
Oh yes, most definitely. Yeah, I do. My idea though is creating a legacy before I do, and that comes along with the vision of having a barber school.
Right.
Having a barber school, and maybe retiring as an instructor. I'm getting from behind this chair. As soon as the school starts, I'll be, we retire from behind the chair. Yeah, so the first retirement is going to be coming from behind the chair into the school. And so, yeah, I do see me I can instruct till I'm an old man. I'm enjoying the title Mr. Kelly already.
Okay.
It sounds good. Has a nice ring to the ear.
Yeah,
Kelly.
I'm like, how did I become Miss Aisha? I was like, when did I get that old? When did I get that old?
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Well, we got a younger generation now,
Yeah.
You got a younger generation of adults now, and so, they look at 40 as being old, but we just look at it as we just starting to live life now.
Look, I never forget when what is his name? Oh God, I forget the guy. He passed away. fire. Was it Maurice White? Maurice White, when he passed away. He was 76 years old, and my mommy at the time was 73. And when he passed away, she said, "Oh, he was so young." And I was like, "Wait a minute."
Right.
Yeah.
He was so young.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So before we wrap up with you gentlemen, as I was telling you, we talked early because I told you I do comedy. I've been doing comedy off and on for 16 years. Oh my God, I've done some everything. This is what Barbara has allowed me to do. So between doing comedy, I used to be a radio personality and stuff. I've had the opportunity to do plays. I like to write little skits and stuff. But and when I told you about, I knew my answer for retiring. I tell people all the time, and just listen to you know you say you will retire. You're not gonna retire. Just like you said, you will still instruct. And guess what? When you instruct, you're gonna stand behind that chair, and you're gonna show your students this how you do. So this is the correct way. So I tell people all the time. I said, one thing I love about being a barber is one, the freedom. And I really love what I do. And I tell people, whenever you love what you do, you don't have to worry about it's a job. Most people retire from a job because they're ready to do what they want to do. We already do what we want to do. Therefore, for me, I see no reason in retiring. Because we do what we want to do as right now. So in actuality, we are retired. And so that's kind of how I think about it. And you know,
That's dope.
and like also like I also became an inventor. So
We in the same
I
field.
also hold a patent and everything. I ain't made a dime off of it yet, but you know.
We need to rap then. I got that title too. I like
See?
to
We
take it a little bit.
definitely So I definitely want to thank Mr. Ron Kelly and Eric Cheeks with
Lynn Sawyer Styling Bar.
Lynn Sawyer
Yeah,
Styling
University
Bar.
area.
Tell everybody how they can get in contact with you all and where they can come find you, gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
Well, Blensorio. It's Blensorio. Blensorio, aka Blend So Real. We at 1001 East W.T. Harris Boulevard, Charlotte, North Carolina, in the university area. You can go to our webpage, which is blendsorio.com, and everything is there. IG handle, Blensorio. Get used to saying it. We ain't going nowhere. Very active in the community.
Blensorio.
Yeah, Blensorio. Yeah. And the breakdown is blend. Sorio comes from tonsorial, which means to cut hair with razor or shears, and we combine the two words.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorio.
See?
Like
I didn't know
tonsorial.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, like tonsorial art.
Yeah,
So,
there it is.
alright. So, anything personal? Anything you want to share? Anything
Anything you got going on?
you got
coming
going
up?
on?
The shop or his person?
It don't matter.
Okay,
Yeah.
go for it, Kelly.
I don't have a lot coming up, man. I just want to say, Blensorio, we've been in business for 1 year. This is our first year. We're celebrating our anniversary
Yes.
this week right here. So this show was coming. This show coming to the show was great timing. You know what I mean? We're celebrating our 1 year anniversary. We had a great year. We had a great year.
Great.
And all start. We still getting our name out, and just excited about that. Excited about that.
Yeah.
And if anybody want to get any one-on-one training, come to Blensorio. We do that too. When it comes to clipper cutting, I'll be at the premiere of Birmingham. The Birmingham premiere show, October 20th through the 22nd. Come check me out there. And we appreciate your time. It was a great show.
Great.
I am glad to have you,
Thank
gentlemen.
you.
So,
Pleasure.
thank
Nice having
you,
you,
Mr.
gentlemen.
Ron Kelly
It was a
and
pleasure.
Eric
It
Cheeks.
was a pleasure.
And
Pleasure.
I tell you what, this is great. So, here again, BS Talks, Barbers and Stylists Talks. You guys tune in. We will be back with Mr. Holiday. Thank you.
Miss Aisha, my girl came home again complaining about her hairstylist. She take too long and she's always double booking. And my barber, he keeps stopping, walking outside to talk on the phone.
Well, at Relaxations Grooming Bar, the wait is over. You set an appointment and we'll get you in and out. And for the ladies, we have wonderful stylists that specialize in color, luxury extensions, and can hook up your natural do's and twist your gorgeous locks down. Plus, we have a makeup artist that will glam you up and get you ready for the night on town.
What about the men?
Our master barbers are some of the best in Charlotte. They'll take care of your fades, razor shade, taper cuts, beard art, and fellas, we also do male hair enhancement.
So Aisha, how's the uptown parking at your location?
We have free parking and we're within walking distance from everything uptown.
Tell our listeners how can they contact you?
We're uptown Charlotte, 301 South Tryon Street. You can look us up online at Relaxations Grooming Bar or Facebook us at Relaxations Grooming Bar, or you can Instagram us #Relaxations Grooming Bar, or you can give us a call 704-412-9566.
Hello, and we are back. BS Talks, Barbers and Stylists Talks, and we are sitting here with the owner of Power 104.4 Internet Radio, Mr. Holiday. How are you?
Hey.
So, you know this is our entrepreneur segment, and you are an entrepreneur. You got to tell me, how did you start your radio station?
I didn't even know I was an entrepreneur. I thought I was just a guy that a lot of people like. Yeah, entrepreneurship. I do a little bit of that. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Well, tell us about how you got started with the radio station. That's interesting. I love it.
You sure you want to hear this story?
Yes.
Alright. I'm trying to give you the short version.
Okay.
About 5 years ago, I was getting a lot of tattoos, and I had a young boy that was doing tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to open up a tattoo shop. I was looking for equipment for the shop, something used online. I was on Craigslist, and I came in the business section. I came across an ad with a marketing company in Atlanta that was selling internet radio stations. So I emailed them. We exchanged numbers. We talked on the phone. He sent me, all the information.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, this is Craigslist, right? and it was like, just listen, just watch it, pay attention. So I just watched the stations for like 2 months. Long story short, I went into my 401k, I cashed out, I brought 2 internet radio stations. Didn't know nothing about internet radio. I knew music. I have a little bit of music background. So I had half the equipment and stuff already, but I basically brought a blueprint. It was the internet. It was a web page with a widget that played radio through something called Live 365. I don't know if y'all familiar with that.
No.
That was the radio aspect, and they just had a whole bunch of ads on there. It had a web page that looked like a radio station.
Okay.
Internet radio was new at the time. With me having some music background, like I said, I had a little bit of equipment, and I put it together. I just didn't want to be internet over the, just a playlist. You know what I mean? I wanted to have that live feeling. I wanted to take terrestrial radio and internet radio and kind of combine them together. Right. I felt internet radio needed that rather than just a playlist. Anybody can listen to a playlist.
Right.
On shuffle. To me, that's what Live 365 was. And that's how I got started. I got started in my house, in my living room.
So
well, actually, it's more to that.
What happened to the tattoo business?
It
This has never happened.
It never happened. I wasn't trying to put them together because I was looking at a shop to where I had enough booths to do that, and then like a closed-in space that had a storefront. But somebody beat me to the building. I never got my hands in that building.
Okay.
So that backfired on me. I had this radio station. I didn't know what I was doing. When he transferred it over to me, the web page went blank. I had like 2 logos that were showing. Everything else, the links were broken.
Oh, wow.
So I had to teach myself how to get the web page back up. So I do web design too, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I do web design because I got it back together. It took me about 2 months.
Okay.
I got it back up together, and then in 2 months, I took flash drives. And I was in the bike world back then.
Okay.
So I knew a lot of bike road DJs. So I gave DJs flash drives, and that's how I built my music library.
Yeah.
And then I went around. I asked a whole lot of local people, how do you do radio? I went to all the radio people.
Right.
one passed me to the next, another one passed me. We'll call this person. Well, yeah, call me next week. You know, everybody blew me off. So all right, I'll teach myself.
Wow.
There you go.
I'll tell myself. All right, that was a short version.
Well, well, I tell you what, because I love it, and for the years that I've known you, I've seen it grow, and just to come to where your studio and everything is, it is just so professional. It is really, yes. Have you ever been to anybody's radio station? Any of these local radio stations?
I've been to Power 98 before.
And when you
That was the only one.
when you go in there, I mean, you have your stuff set up. It's really great, and I love the way you have the, you know, you got your different places where they broadcast out of. You have your green room. You have where you got the place where you set up for interviews and stuff. It's really, really professional. It's done very professionally. It's really, really nice for you to say you've only done it for 5 years and you literally self-taught yourself.
See, some of the stuff that you just mentioned has been things that I've been, you know, it's been a transition for me. You know, a lot has changed.
Right.
When I first started, I figured I was 3 years ahead of the wave, ahead of the curve. You know, I've seen a lot of other internet-based companies, you know, music-wise, media-wise, come and go.
Right.
But you know, I've still, knock on wood, I've still been in business for 5 years strong. It's been a hard 5 years.
Right.
It's been a hard 5 years. But yeah, so now with being in radio for so long, I've started to notice how things are changing. So to keep up, I don't want to be the dying dinosaur. So to keep up, I kind of switched over to visuals. So that's the green screen and all that's new.
Right.
So you know, I'm teaching myself. I'm teaching myself that also. But now I have a team.
Right.
So you know, I partner up with Ty Durden on the visual aspect. I've partnered up with Jay Prag on the radio station. So I've learned a lot in these past 5 years. Let's say that.
Yeah.
And so
with never being in radio prior to this, what made you want to take that leap of faith to even start up an internet radio?
I always want to be an entrepreneur. It don't matter what the product is. I'm a hustler.
Yeah.
I don't know what entrepreneur, because you know we got some street pharmacists entrepreneur shit. I'm a generation of that. You know, when Biggie said he was, you know what I'm saying, selling crack rock to feed his daughter, I came from that generation.
Okay.
So I've always been a hustler.
Right.
It's just trying to find something that was legal that I was interested in. You know, I bounce around. I'm from New York. I've had a mean T-shirt hustle, purses, you know what I'm saying, Shambhala bracelets. I'll sell weave if I get it for the wholesale price. I'll sell bundles. I'll be running around here with bundles. But just having that, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't want to really work for somebody else. It just happened that I found my niche in media. You know what I mean? I never was a rapper. I was somewhat of a producer. I made beats and stuff, so that's how I was in love with music.
Right.
So does that more answer your question?
Yeah, that
Okay.
And so I like the way you said you're originally from New York, because I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York too. So we have that. I tell people from New York, the city of New York, are natural born hustlers. That's what you do. You just natural born hustler, because you always got somebody trying to beat you. But how long have you been in Charlotte?
2005.
Okay.
Yeah, March 2005.
What
Right
brought
after my
you to
birthday.
Charlotte?
It was either Charlotte or Atlanta. I was getting the hell out of New York. It was either Charlotte or Atlanta. I didn't have any family in Charlotte. I came down here with I had 2 girlfriends here, so I had to pick which one I wanted to be with. and I was close. You know, my family's from Georgia, so it was close enough. So when I first moved down here, my grandma was still living.
Okay.
So you know, I can bounce. 4 hours was nothing compared to 18 hours from New York.
Right.
So that's what brought me down here. I've always been trying to get back to the South. I mean, you know what I mean? I've been raised in New York, but every summer I spent the summer down South.
Right.
So you know what I mean? I'm that generation.
Right. Right.
If that makes sense.
Yes, it does. It does. So for anybody who is young, upcoming, wanting to start their own internet radio show, what advice would you give to them?
I think the number one thing is building a system.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned that over time because I don't work well with people, but people can change. But a system
Yeah.
is something more structural.
Right.
So if you can develop what works for you as far as the system, the people can be swapped out. You know what I mean? Talent
Yeah.
comes. You know what I mean? And and I'm telling you, the younger generation have the tools to do majority of the stuff. They have the tools and education. They just gotta have the drive.
And oh, I'm so glad you said that, because even I've seen with having a shop, you're right, the younger people just don't have that drive that I had coming out
That's what
of
I'm
barbering school. And I'm just like, you know, we had that hustle game. They have that, they look for someone to hand them something. And that's not how it works. You gotta get out there. I tell people, I say, it's like being a politician. You gotta go out, you gotta kiss babies and shake hands.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you build clientele. And even, you know, with internet shows, with your radio station and stuff, the people that are around you, they've been around you for years and stuff. And it's like, again, you built those relationships
Yeah.
and stuff.
Right.
And you got the right team of people around you. You got to surround yourself with a good team of people and everything. And I know you always say you don't work well with others. You say that all the time.
I don't. A lot of people don't like me.
You do just fine.
I feel like you kind of have to if you're running a business, right?
Deja, that's right.
Delia?
Delia, it's I don't know. I keep going back to I'm raised by the OGs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I was raised a certain way
Yeah.
to respect people, but not tolerate certain things.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This younger generation is not like that.
Yeah.
And I think I'm blessed now to say that I was, you know, that I made it this far in life
Mm-hmm.
off of the fundamentals that were instilled in me. You know what I mean? Moms worked doubles. I basically, you know what I'm saying, got up, took myself to school, came home, fixed lunch. Moms worked 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody else was gone. So that, you know what I mean? That's the type of background that I had. So
Right.
I've always had that hustle.
Right, right.
I don't know if I got off the question. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't.
I think I'm talking too much.
No, you're not.
So where do you see your radio station going? Where's the next steps or the next place you really want to see?
Multimedia. I already started.
Yeah, you're global.
I already started with not even just the global aspect.
Mhm.
I've learned, just even the past year, it's easier to get somebody to watch you
Mm-hmm.
than listen to you.
That is very
Mhm.
true.
The attention span of these youngsters is going down.
Yes.
They need it
Yeah.
easier.
Mm-hmm.
You see, they need it easier. They have to see. So I feel I will be left out. That's why I'm adding the visuals. So
Right.
I'm building space and I'm building a system to do something like we're doing now.
Right. Right.
And put that together with the radio.
Right.
So you know what I mean. So where I'm trying to go, I'm trying to be like CBS Radio.
Okay.
You know what I mean? To have a visual studio and radio stations and podcasts.
Right.
You know what I mean? All together
Right.
with a sales department, a marketing department, social media.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Put all that together with the DJs. That's my ground.
Right.
That's my ground team. We already on the airwaves, with internet,
Mhm.
and just bring the visuals to everything, and
Yeah.
more video production as
Right.
far as producing content,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the game right now. Content. You got good content, you can go viral, you make money.
Yep.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially
Yes.
for artists and music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all digital now. You got to keep up with the days. So,
Exactly. And I like the way you're saying, you know, you really got to keep up with the times and how things are changing, because it's so fast. You know, I'm so used to passing business cards, or again going out and, oh, you got to do Instagram, you got to do Facebook, you got to do. I still haven't did Twitter. Whatever.
Yeah.
Do you see? You're not a typer.
Yeah.
Huh?
You don't like to write. You're not a writer.
No, oh, I enjoy writing, but
But
gotta
do you
remember,
do you like typing it on your phone though?
no,
She's not a technology
So you
person.
wouldn't.
I'm
you
not a
wouldn't-
tech guru.
You wouldn't enjoy Twitter. Stick with Facebook.
Okay.
Stick with
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Twitter is more for writers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because you can write lengthy things. You know, on Instagram and Facebook, you get so many.
What is it? Oh, likes?
You don't get so many
Oh,
quotes.
so many
characters.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Twitter's more. It's not visual. It's more, writing out how you feel.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Does that make sense? The Instagram is more visual.
Right, because with Instagram, I post all the pictures
Right.
and things like that too. And
Right.
Facebook, you can post pictures and write stuff to it like Instagram. So I never got into. And then plus too, with me being a barber, I work with my hands.
Mm-hmm.
So to sit and type or whatever, that's
you ain't no writer.
yeah.
That's why Trump be in there, because he be tweeting all his little, his thoughts. You just show the pictures of your work, and your work
Yeah.
speak for yourself. So you
Exactly.
don't need Twitter. You don't need Twitter.
Yeah.
You don't need that.
So I tell you what, I enjoyed you coming.
It's time to go already?
Well, yeah, we got a musical guest.
Okay, all right.
We got Mr. Ante Picasso. And so, wait a minute, before we leave, holidays, is there anything you want people to know, how to get in touch with you? If anybody wants to come and, be on any of your shows, interviews, do you have young folks coming through anytime where you kind of like,
How many y'all folks? Like kids?
yeah, giving them tours?
On tours? High school kids or little kids?
Either age, middle to high school or something.
Do you know what I do? Don't leave no kids around here. We are the underground, right? We deal
know
with
where
artists.
they can find you at.
Hey, where can people find you?
Hey, look, follow me on IG at Who Is Holiday. It's WHOIZHOLIDAY, aka Young Quincy Jones, and I'm out. Gang. Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
I'm used to talking. I can talk.
We will be back.
And welcome back to BS Talks. We are here with Vontae, one half Picassiante.
It's all good. Listen, she about butchered my shit, but it's okay. So, hello everybody. I'm Vontae, one half Picassiante. You can call me Vontae Picassiante because that's what you can find me on everything. Vontae Picassiante. Now here's the thing though. I need to get this out. You're probably not going to be able to spell Picassiante, which is fine. VONTEP. You're going to see this. That's me. Follow me. Appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, feel me. Okay,
So you are one half of your group, Picassiante.
Yes, ma'am.
So who is the other half of your group?
I'm so glad you brought this up. I love speaking of my good brother. So, the other half of my group is Halfcast. He is the producer and engineer for Picassiante, and he will give you a mean 16, but every blue moon. He's nice, but he just rather stay behind the scenes, because, like, I'm mostly, like, I'm the, like, extra one. Like, so, performing, going to events, going to shows and stuff, like, that's me.
That's your thing.
That's
I can
okay.
tell.
Okay.
That's my thing. And then, he's more like, nah, bro, like, I'm from Be at Home mixing.
Yeah.
And then he also paints, which is
Oh, nice.
Picassiante.
That's where the
over.
Picasso
Yeah.
kind of comes in.
Exactly,
Okay.
and then I'm just Vontae. I will never come up with a stage name, no create nothing. I'm Vontae. When you say my name, you saying my name. I don't want you to go have to Google me, none of that. You don't have to go look up none of that. Who is this guy? He is Vontae.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
No little nothing, no little nothing. It's Vontae.
Vontae.
No baby nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
Everything is grown as hell.
So,
Vontae.
Mr. Vontae.
Yes, ma'am.
So later, you're gonna perform for us,
Mhm.
but I was reading your bio, and you all started your music sound is neo trap.
Yes, neo trap.
Yeah.
Tell me what neo trap is.
Yeah,
I can't wait
interesting.
to
Okay, so
hear this.
all right, so I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois. You feel me? Google it. I ain't even got to talk about it. Just Google it, right? 55th Street, Charlie Park. We out here. So essentially, the music that I like to make, of course, like a lot of people be like, talk about you, talk about what you've been through, talk about where you're from. All right, so when I talk about a lot of that stuff, you would assume that is trap music. You see what I'm saying? But everybody got like this like common trap sound. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like think about it. For example,
The
right now
808s.
the 808 babies. You got the 808 babies right now, and I still have 808s in my music, but I'm more a bassline person.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I'll do 808s, but my sound is still so completely different. So I say neo trap because if you take away the lyrics from the song, you just listen to the beat, you would think one or two things. Somebody's about to probably sing, or if somebody does rap, it's probably gonna be something extremely conscientious.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Okay.
I love to sing. That's my thing, but I hate singing in public. I just hate it. So I'm serious. So I love to sing, hate doing it in public. But people always like, nah, bro, you can sing. I'm like, no. So I can hold a note. I would never go like audition for American Idol. You feel me? Like,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I sing and on these tracks and go crazy too. But like, you're not gonna get me to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
All right.
all right, cool. So that's where I just collided the two sounds. Like I'll take and I would literally sing something so tracked out that you can't believe, like what? Like I can't believe he's singing that. Like you really say you're gonna do this, but you sing. So now the question, now the new question is, do you believe me?
Right.
Well, we gonna find out. You see what I'm saying? So like that's essentially what it is. So neo trap is just like a sound to where like you feel it in your soul, but like at the same time, if you're from there, you feel it even more. Or if you understand it, you feel it more. But if you don't, like really like relate to the lyrics, you're gonna relate with the feel. Cause you know a lot of my music, I get a lot of like, you know, offense, like older people, and they'll say, I love your music, and I'm like, you're not listening, but you love it. But you love the feel it gives you. So like, you know what I'm saying? Cause that's how it is with most, like, what's that little song? And it got the little catchy little you know what I'm saying? Like you don't even know the words, you just like how it makes you feel.
It's
so
a vibe.
There you go. So hence neo trap is just I could captivate multiple audiences. Like I could literally give you like put me in front of anybody and I'll perform. They're like, I like that man right there. You know?
I got you. So what inspired you to start doing music?
Who knows what a Just For Me perm is?
We do.
Cool. So that,
we're black.
Okay, cool. That, so you remember when you open the box, when you dig in there, what do you pop out? It's a cassette tape, and it's pink. Do y'all remember that? It came with a tape.
I never knew that.
Yes, it comes with a pink cassette tape, and if you put it in the player, it'll give you instructions on how to put in a perm, right?
Oh, okay.
So this is what it came with. So
I didn't know.
So what I learned growing up was because I had my mom's friend, when he always come over, he used to make his own tapes. So like from the radio, he record from the radio into the tapes or whatever. So I see the third, right? But he showed me how to plug the little holes and you record over it. So sometimes I make a little radio cut, like, oh, I want to hear that song. You heard it, push record, and you get that song, you stop it.
I used to do
and you
that.
listen. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But also, if you smash the record button and don't have nothing playing, it'll actually record you.
Oh, really?
Yes, like you can record your
Never
voice
knew
over it.
that.
So I found out on accident. It was random. I know. So I ran around the house just grabbing CD covers from everywhere, and I sung every song I could find in a CD cover, and then that's how I started. Like I did not start off rapping. I started off singing. I sung everything.
And how old were you?
Like man. Just For Me, Brian was like 7. Like, Just For Me, remember? So like I was a kid, like really going crazy. Like you could not. I had a tape full of me. I wish I could find those. That would be so
You
dope.
should.
What I'm gonna go look? You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't
at this
know.
point,
Maybe
you
your
know
mom
what I'm saying?
got some.
I was just gonna say, call your mom.
Nah, girl, listen, we got evicted so much. Like when I say we got evicted so much, like we just.
Oh my God! He said we got evicted so much.
I grew up. I told East St. Louis, Illinois. Google it. Like,
Okay.
like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm dead serious right now.
So,
So, like,
so a lot of that stuff got thrown
you
away.
feel me? Like, got new keys. Like, oh, they got me. That was a dope toy. Like, you know what I'm saying? But nah. So yeah. So that's kind of like when I started, like off the random, like. I just singing around the house, and then I just kept doing it and kept doing it. I never took myself. I just started performing like 5 months ago.
What?
Yup, swear. My friends was like, "Yo, you tripping?" I was like, "Wow." Like,
Wow.
because I host events and stuff in college.
But you got the personality for it.
I just want to make music, and I ain't think about it. If you want to blow, brother, somebody
you
gotta
gotta
hear you.
perform it.
So I went out, and it just got crazy.
But you already have.
Mad projects out,
That's what I was gonna say. You already got other
but
projects and stuff
never
out.
performed.
What?
I had 2 whole projects out and never touched the stage.
Are you serious?
Wow.
I ain't know no better. I ain't know no better.
Well, you're gonna know better now.
Oh, do
Because
I?
we getting ready to put you up on this stage.
I mean,
You about to bust it out for us.
I say this is regular. This is what I do. Like this is now. I wake up and ask myself, do I got anything to do today? Like that's how I get. Yeah, you know, like okay.
Okay, but right before we got started,
Mhm.
you divulged to us You are a teacher.
I am, and that is the hardest job to balance being an artist.
I was gonna ask that.
It's
How do you
almost,
balance
it's
that?
so almost impossible.
Really?
If it wasn't for the fact that I was like my 6th year in, you see what I'm saying? Like I was doing this, I literally have taught 4th through 8th, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know my curriculum like the back of my hand. So I really can go in my class and I know immediately what needs to be done, what needs, you know what I'm saying? I know how to
Yeah.
assess. Like I've been doing this for quite some time. Been in the top 25% of the state 3 times. We ain't gonna talk
Oh,
about
good.
Go
that.
sing.
Saying, you know.
So, what college did you go to?
The illustrious Winston
Oh.
Salem State University. We see red. We on Rams. Don't play with me. Okay, I'm done.
What you got to say to that, Miss Eagle?
They not our rivals.
Yeah. I say congratulations. You went to HBCU. I'm proud. You know what I'm saying?
And so you went to school to become a teacher.
No.
But what did you go to school for? What did you go?
Finance. I was a finance major.
Okay.
How did you get into teaching?
So, you know, I am a member of one of the greatest fraternities in the world, you know, so Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay.
06, they're the good ones. My profile reached out to me. He was like, man, listen, I heard about you teaching. He was like, yo, you got the personality to go teach. I'm like, what does that even mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that mean? You got the personality to teach. So I got to do it. Look like I got the personality to choke somebody's child. Cause like, that's what I would think in my head as a teacher. That's what your daily thought is. Choke them out or not. You see what I'm saying? Like, but at the continuous conversation, it's like, you know what I'm saying? He talked me into going to do Teach for America. I joined Teach for America, did my 6 weeks in Oklahoma, came back, went into CMS. You know, keep my no, I'm not. Public school system is garbage. Like I said that. Like, okay, yeah, that was said. Yeah, it's horrible. You'll find schools here and there where they have great administration, and that is that school. You see what I'm saying? Like that's not the system. So if you get lucky and you get your kid in a good school, like I'll be honest, like Sugar Creek Charter School. I mean, their administration, but the education they kids get is superb. You see what I'm saying? Like right now, Ace Academy. You know what I'm saying? That's a school where they're getting a great education. Like you're saying, like you got schools who have great, you know, educational systems within themselves, but that's not the educational system. Like it's a numbers game. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the day, like that's I'm not a fan. So I resigned from CMS. I got out of there. I resigned from Teach for America. Like let's be honest. The mentality is like a white savior mentality. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go and you drafting all these people who don't look like us. You see what I'm saying? Like, when I sat in that room, that was the first time I realized I was a minority. Like, think about it. Everywhere I went, it's always been all black.
Yeah.
I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois, all black. Moved to Fayetteville, all black. Went to Winston, HBCU, all black. Finally graduate, go sit in a room of the company I got hired by. Oh, my God. Can you say culture shock? I said, I'm a minority. This is real. Like, I'm out nothing. Like, they could attack me, right? And I'm done. Like, you know, so like, it was a moment of like reckoning, and I had to realize like that they all quit. Like they'll quit like a heart. Those kids will have like they be crying. Like you won't believe it, and you was like, he's 11. He's 11. You let him punk you. He's 11, and you're crying in front of all these 11-year-olds. You were tripping. If you never had power, you will never get it now. It's a wrap for you. Like it is over. And then and when they find it out, they leave, and that is how it continues to happen. And then who suffers is us.
Right.
It's like we're guinea pig kids. You see what I'm saying? You take these teachers, they get this little bitty piece of educational practice of 6 weeks, because that's what it was, and then you just put them in the class with our kids. You don't see them over at them prominent schools testing to see if you're a good teacher or not. You see what I'm saying? Like that was ridiculous. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I was like, man, I'm not finna agree to. I feel like, cause like my mom always said, if you sit silent in a situation, you agree. So if you just sit there and you don't say nothing, you accept it and you agree with it because you ain't say nothing. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I felt. So I was like, I'm agreeing, and I gotta stop drinking this Kool-Aid. So there you have it. Reach out to me. First off, I'm not telling y'all what school I work in, but if you reach out to me and you genuinely want your kid in my class, you want your kid in my class, I promise you, I'm top 25% of the state. Holler at me, get at me, and I'm so serious. You see this? This is who I am in front of my classroom. and you'll ask about me. How you get it done?
I love. So do your students know that you sing?
Yes.
Oh wow!
They will find me on everything.
Really?
Yo, and come and sing it. It be raining outside, Mr. Reese. Mr. Reese, I found it. I found you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you did. And then when we be chilling, like I listen to music at all times. Like if I'm not in front of the room teaching, there is music playing. That's the only time because like, and sometimes if we're like reviewing, I'll still play music low because at this point you should know it.
Yeah.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So especially if I've put it in your face, you've seen it before. You've never not seen it before.
Right.
So you should know it. So I'll play the music low, and if we're reviewing it, and if I need to go work with you, all right, bet. You know what? The music goes off because I have 3 people here who don't know what they're doing. All right, bet. So bet. You clearly your mental paths are clogged. You need to unblock them real quick. Volume down, mute it all. Like, you know. But yeah.
Well, I tell you what, the song you are about to perform is "Picture Me Rolling."
Indeed, Picture Me Rolling. I'm gonna try to. It is the epitome of neo trap.
Okay. I can't wait to hear
Yeah,
it.
like
I can't wait to
I'm
hear
ready to
it.
hear this neo trap fusion. Yeah.
So, and you are going to perform for us. You're not going to chicken out.
Ooh. It's gonna be. This is real intimate. I'm probably not even gonna do it live. I'm just probably pull my chair up a little close, and I'll probably stand up a little bit, just look. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna do it live. You feel what I'm saying? Like I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like you read like this guy's crazy. Like he's going hard. In a room of 3. In a room of 3.
Oh, God.
In a room of 3.
Well, I tell you what, it has been a pleasure to interview
Our best
you.
musical
And,
guest.
yes.
Yeah.
You are hilarious.
Oh my God, thank you.
Look, I do comedy. I'm getting ready to start up a comedy room. I need to come put you. You got to come to my comedy room when I
I'll
do.
host it. See, that's the difference. I'm not doing no stand up. I host it because I got that like
But
spontaneous
my comedy room that I'm opening is it's called Knowledge and Laughter, and we do comedians, poets, and singers.
I'll say that.
So I'm gonna get you to come sing for me. You do poetry as well?
A little bit, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be up there.
No face
As the
that.
ocean leaps into the motion with the waves. And like, I'm like, you lost me at the last syllable. I'm lost.
You know what? Vontae, we are going to let you get up and perform for us. And I tell you what, you are hella funny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So we will be back, BS Talks, with Mr. Vontae.
Picassiante.
There we go.
They got it.
producer of podcast, my producer of BS Talk, our podcast show, also produced what?
Who?
No, he recorded.
He
Oh, because I'm lost. Let me tell you. So we're talking about, K. We talking about K Digital Media. Let me tell you, like producer, he make beats and So that actually that video is you hold your drawers on tight now, Blair. It's coming. Alright? That video was shot by K Digital Media.
the
himself.
one, the only K Digital
He's
Media.
a shooter, you know what I mean? You feel me? Oh yeah, make sure y'all follow me on everything at Vontae Picassiante. Remember I told her earlier, you ain't gonna probably spell Picassiante right? But it's V. Oh, I don't know how to do it. N-T-E-P. Look at this.
Turns this out.
That shit gonna pop up.
Oh yeah.
She needs to download it.
Right.
Yep, slide on in. See this?
I love it. I love it. I love it. So again, you have been watching BS Talks, Barbers and Stylists Talk. I am Aisha, Wallace Riley. We are broadcasting right out of Relaxation's Grooming Bar. We have free parking. You all please come check us out. We are barbers and stylists. We are makeup artists, esthetician. We do a little of everything here under grooming. We definitely want you all to come support us, check us out. Watch. We are on Power. You can listen. We are on Power 104.4 every Saturday at 3 o'clock. We are also on YouTube. You can pull up all of our shows and everything. And Miss, our co-host Delia, you got anything you got to say?
Tune in.
Yeah, because she covered it all. She didn't miss a beat, player.
But other than that, that's our show, BS Talk. Peace. We out.